Hey guys, it's Jessica. Today, I've got a video I'm really excited to share with you. I learned so much. So this video, I saw a YouTuber that I just recently discovered named Kelly Gooch. You will love her. She has no idea I'm talking about her. I don't know if she knows who I am. Although I feel like I heard of her because she commented on a video and somehow I clicked through because I know I don't always comment back all the time. I try, I'm trying to juggle a lot of things in life, but I read your guys' comments. So, and every once in a while I'll check out, if you guys say you have a channel, I'll check it out. So anyway, however I discovered her, she's awesome. I will link her version of this video, and I don't know, she might have been inspired from another YouTuber, I don't know. But I loved it, and I thought, holy moly, I wanna see how, I haven't even told you, what am I talking about today? How old my makeup is. So there are two websites she linked, I will link below as well, that I used to discover how old some of my makeup was. I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed that I still have some of the stuff, and I've recently used it. So I've corralled it. It's in quarantine, and I'm like, okay, I've got to really think about do I love it enough to buy it again? So I'm going to tell you, I'm going to get rid of all this stuff, except for I think one item I'm going to mention that not quite. There are a couple items that it said okay, you can probably use it for another year. But if you're wanting to check your old makeup, I will put the links of the two websites below. There are probably more, but those were the two that I used. So the way that you do it is you go to the site, and on every, supposed to be, and that's something I'll talk about in a second, on every makeup item, there should be a batch code. Sometimes it's printed really small. It could be 4 numbers. It could be numbers and letters. This is really small. It just says 3F1. Sometimes it's embossed or whatever on the actual thing. So it's not actually stamped. It's actually in it. So you just got to kind of look. And sometimes you'll type in the brand and they'll kind of clue you on the websites to where to look typically for the brand's batch code. But I found that some of the things I've ordered from MAC didn't have a batch code anywhere on it. And I'm like, I feel like that's illegal. I don't know. I don't know the law, but I feel like that's wrong. Anyway, I was just mad because I wanted to know how old it was. So let's talk about how old. I have it typed into a note because I was doing this. I had so much fun doing this the other day. You guys should totally do it. Let's start with this Too Faced Hangover RX. I like this primer a lot. And I've been oh, I'll use it up. So I keep using it, and it's actually pretty close to empty. But I've been using it a lot recently. This is from, okay, keep in mind the year is 2017, and we're at the end of 2017. This is from the year 2012. How is this 5 years old? I genuinely don't know how, because I feel like I bought it, gosh, it couldn't have been more than 2.5 years ago. So either they made it a million years ago and it's been sitting, and I think I ordered it from Sephora. This was not given to me in PR. I bought it. And I feel like it had to have been sitting in a Sephora warehouse for years. Do you know what I'm saying? So that kind of turned me off. I was And of course they say some products are fine if they're not opened, and it probably is fine. It still smells normal, but it's kind of one of those things that I'm 5 years is a pretty long time. I'm gonna go ahead and pass this one on. Would I buy this again? I think it's a good primer. I think it's moisturizing. I like the smell of it. Do I think it prolongs the wear of my makeup? Not as much as other primers. So would I buy it again? Probably not. But I really did like it. But I just don't feel like I have a need to have this in my collection anymore, if that makes sense. This next one. Okay, I have to be very honest with you. This was a product I decluttered, and then I pulled back out of my declutter pile and kept. Bad. That's bad. But I did. Anyway, so I've had it for a long time. This is the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in the shade Soft and Gentle. Total cult classic, which is why I decluttered it and I pulled it back out because I looked at it and I felt guilty. And I was no, I shouldn't have that. It kind of does have a weird feeling to it now. It's a gorgeous highlighter. Would I buy it again? Probably not, just because there are a million highlighters now that look just like this. But at the time that this was popular, there weren't a lot of products like this. And it was a really pretty wearable color for someone my skin tone. This is from the year, it was made in the year 2011. 6 years old. And it doesn't, this doesn't have the little thing that tells you how many months, but I'm it's time. It doesn't matter. It has a weird feel on the top now, and 6 years old is a little bit too old, but I just couldn't believe I still had it. And I knew it was old, but I don't know. When I think of oh, that makeup I've had for a long time, I'm thinking 2-3 years. I forget that I've had some of this for that long. Like, I just feel like time has flown by. This one's going goodbye. Would I buy it again? Like I said, probably not. Next one is the Too Faced Shadow Insurance. And this was made in the year 2013. I bought this a year ago. What? Like, that means it was 3 years old when I got, like, and again, I don't know exactly the science behind all of this stuff, and I am sure that that's fine for many products. But when it's like a cream I'm putting on my eyes, it makes me nervous. And it does say 12 months, so I've probably had it, this particular one, a year. This is not the first one I've ever owned, but I probably had this particular one at least a year, so I'm kind of feeling like maybe... I really do love this stuff though, and it's like freaking full. So I don't know, I might try it a few more times, just see how it's going. But again, that just kind of weirds me out that they sit that long wherever they're sitting. I don't know, like in whatever factory. And these aren't like, as far as I remember, these aren't like sealed with something over it. I feel like it's just in there and that's that, and it's in a box. So the fact that it's not necessarily sealed either makes me a little nervous. That's two Too Faced products that were sitting a long time in a warehouse. I don't know. And I mean, that's probably true for like any brand, because the reality is they're not going to throw away, if they really are fine, they're not going to throw them away like, oh, it's been sitting here a year, let's throw all of this out, new batch. I doubt they do that. So I don't know. I don't know how they check on this stuff and see. Kind of a weird world if you think about it. I've just never thought about this stuff. Okay, this is one that I need to pass on. I knew it was getting old because it was getting weird. This is the Bare Minerals Concealer in Well Rested. I freaking love this stuff. I am definitely buying again because it will be a hole in my makeup collection. But it's kind of a yellow toned mineral powder concealer, but it freaking brightens your eyes. But I had noticed this stuff felt a little off lately. It's super brightening. And it smells a little off, so that is really a pretty good sign that there's something wrong. But 2013, I'm like, all right, that's 4 years old, and I probably had it for 4 years open. So it's just time. But again, like, I feel like I don't know, I feel like it was like a year and a half ago that I like discovered it, but it was like 4 years ago. Where's time going? All right, next one, my NARS Laguna. I finally hit pan on this little bad boy, actually a while ago. And so then I stopped using it. I'm like, what's wrong with you, Jessica? Like, should use it up. I actually really like this bronzer. It's not a super dark, obvious bronzer at all, but for someone my skin tone, it's kind of perfect like that. Super pricey. It's like $40-something. It lasted me a while. This, however, was from 2014, and that's when I bought it. So that means it's 3 years old. Now on the back, it says 24 months. So that means it went bad like a year ago. I kind of thought it was older than that. Now, powders typically last long. Like, you know, you can, as long as there's nothing weird growing on top of it, it doesn't smell off, you can probably get away with wearing it longer, especially since I'm putting this in areas that are not like near my eyes or my mouth or something like that. But I feel like I've loved this enough. I have plenty of bronzers that deserve the love, so I think I'm going to pass it on. I think instead of buying this one again, I would buy the Sun Washed NARS bronzers, just because I've heard amazing things about them. I'm not 100% sure what the difference is between those and this. They're the same brand. I think they have a shade Laguna. So I don't know if they're like shimmery versus not, or I don't know. So I'm kind of curious about those. So I am gonna throw this little bad boy away, but I think if I do buy another NARS bronzer, I'm gonna try the other kind. This one doesn't have a year. This is my beloved Benefit Box blush in Dallas. Looks like a boring blush I've talked about for years, but it looks amazing on the skin. It looks a lot like what I'm wearing. I'm wearing a MAC blush right now, but it really looks like the same on your skin. I think this one's fine. This one is only from December 2014, so it's going on 3 years old. But I don't notice that anything's off with the smell. It still looks nice. It still feels nice. So I think I'm gonna hold on to it a little bit longer than just the 3-year mark. Again, powders are usually pretty, and it's just my favorite. Now, I would say maybe by this time next year, if I haven't used it up, I'll probably just purchase a new one. I'm so nervous they're gonna discontinue it. I don't know why, because I worry that not enough people know about it and then they'll discontinue it. So then I'd be like, I need to buy 4 because this is the best. Anyway, I just absolutely love it. So I am gonna keep this one. I would buy it again regardless if I did get rid of it, whatever. The next one is my beloved Marc Jacobs lipstick. I was just curious because I bought this on my honeymoon 2.5 years ago. And it's the Marc Jacobs La Marque Lip Cream in Oh Miley. It's this gorgeous red. It's the best tone of red. If you're If I'm wearing red lips, it's usually this. I always say that, but it's true. Super creamy formula, insanely expensive, but it was one of those splurges. We were like in Paris, and I'm like, I'm buying a red lipstick. It's perfect. And then it ended up being absolutely awesome. But this was made in 2014, and I bought it in 2015. So that tells me that it was at least a year old already, which that's not that crazy, I figure. But I'm figuring, okay, so now it's going on well, I guess it's only like 3 years old. That's not that crazy. But I am thinking about, okay, like lipstick doesn't last, I mean, it lasts decently well, but I've been using it a lot, and I feel like I've made a little bit of a dent in it, but I feel like how have I used it as much as I have and it hasn't gone down. But this is one that it would be a hole in my collection again. So maybe in a year, or if I start noticing it going off, but maybe in a year, I would just repurchase it to have a fresh one because I love this so much. So much. So I loved this video idea. I hope you did too. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Definitely subscribe. Check out Kelly's video. Like I said, I'll link it below because it's totally what inspired me. And it's just so interesting. And I don't know why. Like, I don't know what you're supposed to get from this. Just that maybe you need to get rid of your makeup more, or maybe that these makeup products sit on shelves in factories, whatever, longer than we think. I don't know. I don't know what there is to learn from it. I just found it incredibly interesting, and I thought you guys would too. So definitely try it with your own makeup. Let me know below, what is the oldest makeup item you found in your collection, and just how old was it? I think that would be so fun to read through for all of us. And like I said, if you want to join our little family here, I hope that you'll subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.